Hello everyone, I'm Mastavigavo, and today I'm going to show you 3 warrior decks for your Ashes of Outland experience. This is the final video in a series of 10, showcasing 3 decks for each class. 1 budget, 1 moderately expensive, and 1 very expensive deck. I tried to make each deck unique, fun, and competitive. Now, without further ado, let's get into today's first deck. The first deck I made for Warrior is a Pirate Warrior deck. Now, this is your standard run-of-the-mill pirate deck, with all the pirates you would come to expect at this point, but with a few added tools like Imprison Gennarg, Guardian and Og Merchant, Corsair Cache, and Bloodboil Brute. What these new cards bring to the package are some early game power in Imprison Gennarg, some flexibility in Guardian Og Merchant, but frankly, I would recommend any of the deal 1 damage, do X cards. Any of the Og Merchants would work in this spot, except for maybe the spell damage one. Cruel Taskmaster and Inner Rage would work well in this spot too. But I chose Guardian Og Merchant to show it off, and because I think it's the best of the Og Merchants. I also added Corsair Cache to make drawing Ankar more consistent, and to make it more powerful. And I added Bloodboil Brute to give Pirate Warrior some long game staying power. One of the problems of Pirate Warrior was that it could not stay in the late game. If it didn't win in the early game, it was game over. But now with Bloodboil Brute, you have a chance to come back and swing the game back in your favor. The only time when the previous archetype of this deck saw success was when there was pre-nerf Ankar, and when it was a 3-mana 2/3 weapon. I think that problem will be alleviated by all the upgrades in Corsair Cache, upgrade Captain Greenskin, and Horde Pillager bringing back Ankar over and over again. I think this deck can be pretty successful with tuning and focus and a precise list that can get the job done consistently. That was my main problem with Pirate Warrior in the last expansion. It was inconsistent. So if this deck can achieve consistency, I think it can be very powerful. The second deck I made for Warrior is a Pain Warrior. Now, this deck's goal is to damage your own minions to get benefits off of cards like Armorsmith, Frothing Berserker, Bomb Wrangler, and Grom, and I combined that package with the Galakrond Warrior package. I added some new tools into the Pain Galakrond list, like Kargath, Bloodboil Brute, Imprison Gennarg, and again, one of the Og Merchants could go in this spot. I chose Inner Rage for this deck because it's 0 mana and the attack is very helpful in this deck. I think Kargath is going to be the MVP of this deck because the Prime version of it is absolutely ridiculous. It's an 8 mana 10/10 with Rush that whenever it attacks and kills a minion, you gain 10 armor. The turn where you play Kargath Prime is usually going to be the turn you swing the game in your favor. This is a very good card. I think this deck can be very successful because previous versions of Galakrond Warrior dominated the meta for a very long time. In the Control Dragon Galakrond Warrior that used War Master Voon to copy your Scions of Ruin. There was a similar version to this one. It was a similar theme of hurting your own minions to make them more powerful. And now I think the best next step is just to add to that previous one with better cards that came in with Ashes of Outland. The last deck I made for Warrior is Highlander Warrior. Now, what is the perfect way to wrap up a deck showcase than a Highlander deck? This deck's goal is much like any other Highlander deck's goal, and that's to control. Keep a firm grasp on the board for as long as possible until you can get heavy hitters on the board, and then go for the win. Now, I think this deck in particular is a pretty interesting Highlander deck because it has a lot of tempo tools like Kargath, Bomb Wrangler, Imprison Gennarg. I think this is my favorite of the Warrior decks I made because it incorporates almost all of the new tools: Scrap Golem, Kargath, Warmaul Challenger, one of my favorite cards this expansion, Bulwark of Azzinoth, a card people are calling a meme. I think for its fringe use, I think it's worth getting a spot in this deck. And then we have Bladestorm, a super interesting control tool. This is Blizzard's replacement for Warpath. In my opinion, it's a pretty good replacement. This deck has a powerful dragon package in Emberscale Drake and Molten Breath. Yeah, so I'm editing right now, and it just dawned on me. I don't know how it just dawned on me now, but Emberscale Drake is a Rasticon's card, and Rasticon's rotating out. So, yeah, pretty much disregard that part of the deck. I did a goof. So, oh well. Carry on past me. This deck has a powerful dragon package in not Emberscale Drake and Molten Breath, and they're activated by Alexstrasza's Evasive Worm, Big Ol' Whelp. And yeah, I think this deck might see success, but I think, again, it'll be overshadowed by Mage and Priest Highlander. So before we wrap up, I have a few things to say. The first being another huge thank you to everyone who's stuck around in the series so far. It's been a great time making this for all of you, and it's been wonderful thinking outside the box for each of these classes, and hopefully we can get to the point where we're an active community pushing ideas out there and seeing if things stick. My goal for this series was to put ideas out there, get them out there, have people think, have people discuss, and I think I've achieved that. And I'd like to thank you all for watching the series and contributing to our little microcosm of the community. The second thing is about the pack opening. As you may have seen, the pack openings for most content creators, at least from what I've seen, have been shockingly mediocre to bad, which surprises me, and it kind of makes me wary. I mean, the card pack opening's happening no matter what. I'm going to prioritize getting legendaries for decks that I feel passionate about making, and those are pretty much any Demon Hunter deck, Secret Burgle Rogue, the Big Demon Warlock deck, Mech Paladin, and Token Druid. Those 5 are the ones that I really want to make, and I want to show to you guys to see if they work or not. I'm super excited to bust right into Ashes of Outland, and I hope you guys are too, and hopefully we can discover the meta of Ashes of Outland together. So look forward to potential highlights of all of the decks I mentioned now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to comment your ideas for any of the videos. I'll catch you on the pack opening video. And that's going to wrap up my series of showcases. If you have suggestions or ideas for any of the 10 classes, feel free to put them in the comment section below. The deck codes for the decks I made for each class are in the description of their respective video, so feel free to use them in any way you want. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.